Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of our favorite female-fronted rock bands of all time. That's right, 30 days in November. I'm going to be listing out my favorite 30 cool bands that had a female singer. Right? Some people ask, well, why you have to specify that it's female-fronted singers? Why don't you just say singers? Well, because we talk about, 90% of the time here on this channel, we talk about bands with guys singing. And people ask all the time, how come you don't feature more bands or have more discussions about those bands with ladies singing? Well, so now we're doing it. Each and every day of this month, we're going to feature 30 of my favorite bands that have a female singer. Right? And we're going to talk about why I like them so much. But more importantly, you guys are also going to be picking your favorite 30 bands with a female singer, and the criteria I'm going for is that whoa, holy glare, Batman. Look at that. Jesus. Oh, that's not working. There we go. Let's try that again. I was like, holy cow, it's total glare action going. Anyway, what was I saying? There may be some bands that actually they take the name of the lead singer, but it's an actual band, and for album after album, tour after tour, for however long, that it featured a pretty solid band, right? So, but I'm not going to go for like a female singer who basically, she's the only constant, and every album, every tour, whatever it might be, totally different musicians, all guest stars, all that sort of thing. I'm trying to go for ones that at least had a solid band for a significant period of time. This particular band debuted in the late 60s. They were from Chicago. Kind of a very notorious band because they were one of the first bands that actually utilized like occult lyrics and themes in their music. The band is Coven, right? And the actual singer here, her nickname is Jinx Dawson. Her real name is Esther Dawson, but Jinx Dawson is her name. That is her right there. Okay, there they are here. And fairly notorious band. One of the first bands to do the whole Sign of the Horns type of thing. So way before Gene Simmons and Ronnie James Dio were doing it, these guys were doing it. The music, again, they label it as like a cult rock, and a lot of like heavy metal fans are very drawn to this band, but more so I think by their lyrical content and the way their image, right, which was very, they had the highly satanic lyrics, but the music is very like rooted in late 60s psychedelia. Like to me, I listen to Coven, they don't sound all that much different musically speaking from like Jefferson Airplane. Maybe a little more rockin' in spots, but this album, this is their debut, which is called Witchcraft Destroys Minds and Reaps Souls. Not a heavy album by any means at all. Some couple tracks have some kick-ass guitar solos, and a few of them have some nice Hammond organ or whatnot, but for the most part, this is very kind of like late 60s, like psychedelic rock, flower power a little bit, right? But then, you start listening to the lyrics and the song titles, which I'm going to get to in a second. You're like, oh, they're doing something a little bit different there. And she's got a great voice. I mean, Jinx, terrific singer. She could have easily been a folk singer. In fact, some of these songs are kind of folky as well. They had like a big hit in 1971, which was a year or so after this came out. They did a song for the soundtrack of the Billy Jack film called One Tin Soldier, which was doesn't sound anything like what's on here. That's a very kind of folky pop type song, but really cool stuff. Also in the band here, Greg Osborne, who went by the nickname of Oz. Yes, Oz Osborne. Not Ozzy Osbourne, John Osborne, like we know from Black Sabbath. Chris Nielsen on guitar, Rick Durrett on keyboards originally. He later was replaced by a guy named John Hobbs, and drummer Steve Ross. Right, so again, really, really intriguing stuff. Like I said, a lot of metal fans are attracted to this album just because of its notoriousness. But musically speaking, I would say if you're a folk rock fan or you like just 60s psychedelic rock, this is right up your alley. Right up your alley. Song titles, Black Sabbath, White Witch, Coven in. Let's see, I'm trying to read this stuff here because it's so. I have this listed anywhere else. Pact with Lucifer, Choke, Thirst, Die, Wicked Woman. Wicked Woman is a great song. That's one of the more rocking tracks on here. Dignitaries of Hell, Portrait, Satanic Mass, which is the final track, number 13. It's like 12 or 13 minutes long. It's basically just a spoken word Satanic Mass. Very strange. But, whatever. White Witch of Rose Hall. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I like this album a lot. It's actually really, really cool. And if you ever look at like the promo pictures from this band, she's an absolutely gorgeous woman. I think Johannes Sadanis from the band Lucifer, the German-Swedish band Lucifer, kind of takes a little bit from this band, and especially from her as far as her look goes and everything like that. But definitely a very cool band, and again, another kind of obscure band. I know a lot of you are like, oh, where's all the big bands? Don't worry, all the big bands are going to be, at least if they're my favorites, that is, will be coming. But there's going to be lots of obscurities in my list here this month, because I do like some of these more obscure female fronted bands, and this one quite a bit. And I love the spooky nature of the album art and everything like that. So very, very cool. Witchcraft is the band, and like I said, Jinx Dawson is the singer, or her real name Esther Dawson. Witchcraft, Coven, destroys minds and reaps souls. Cool band, Coven. They've got I think they released 3 other albums in the 70s, and then a couple later ones, which I believe just had her on vocals and some compilations and things like that. But Coven, very, very cool band, and a very, very cool singer. She's got a lovely, lovely voice. Just interesting, she is like going through all this lyrical content that, some people may find not all that lovely, but she definitely lovely to look at, and her voice just magical, really, really good. Very cool, like late 60s, early 70s, psychedelic rock, folk rock, but occult rock because of all the, kind of like satanic references and things like that. So check it out, and if you haven't heard it already, if you are a fan, let us know what you think of the band Coven in the comments below. And visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. See you tomorrow with another one of these favorite female-fronted rock bands. Till then, please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell, and please hit the like button before you leave. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow morning with more stuff. Take care. Bye-bye.